Hello everybody, it's Wags from Ironman 4x4. Today you and I are going to be working on this rear raid bumper for that there Ram 1500 truck. So grab your tools, print off some instructions, or if you're super lazy, don't worry, I'll tell you how to do everything. Cheat off me. License plate has got to go 10 mil. Now you can do this install by leaving your spare tire in, but for legal reasons internationally, I'm gonna show you how to take the spare tire out so that we have some more room to work. And Lord knows I don't need another lawsuit that's burrito related. So we're gonna pop this out here under your front passenger seat, move it forward and up. You're gonna get your jack removal tool kit, set it up like this. I think there's a little hook piece, you don't need that. When you look through here, there's a little plastic white, like horn looking thing. Feed this right back into it like that. You'll feel it kind of engage and then break it loose and lefty loosey. Now let's get these two 15s undone. Set those aside. Now let's get our electronics unhooked. It's really just this one big main plug right here on the rear driver's side. So I'm gonna use a clip removal tool and rock this up and out. There we go. So that'll give us easier access. And you've got one other little plastic retainer clip back up in here. And now I think you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So I'm gonna pull it back and out, and then this white handle here, I'll push down on that black tab there. I push down on this, that releases this big white handle. And then as you open that back up, it's got a cam on it, which ejects. There we go. So all of our electronics wiring harnesses are connected into this one main master plug. So once this is out, I think we can unbolt the bumper and take it off. So the stock bumper on this Ram is really only held on by 4 16mm nuts, 2 on this side, 2 on the other. So I'm gonna go ahead and zip this side all the way off. And you can see that already came loose. On the other side, I'm gonna take one nut off, I'll loosen the other. I'm gonna leave it on because I don't want the whole bumper to come crashing down until I'm ready to take it off myself. Okay, that's off. I think that is just it. This is the awesome part of the video where you get your clip removal tool and we have to unhook all of the electronics and the wiring harnesses out of here. So first we want to get the trailer plug harness. So push down on this clip here and we'll wiggle and rock it out like that. So get yourself a pick and we're going to take these little metal tabs out of here. And to do that, you just rock back in here and we want to pop that out. We'll set it aside. And if you can kind of see, it's kind of tight in here, but you've got this inner little tab, and that's what I'm trying to bend, get behind and bend it out. And you can kind of bend and pull at the same time, get them to pop out. Cool. We'll set that aside because that's all got to get transferred over to the new Ironman 4x4 Raid rear bumper. This unit here needs to get unhooked. So I'm gonna pop, there we go. So little plastic clips, kind of pop those out. They're little 2-piece dealios, so we want to keep those together. All right, that's out. So just to make sure I don't lose this or forget how it goes back together, I'm gonna put the clips back in and together so we don't lose everything. Cool, that goes there. That goes in there, cool. So if you're unhooking modules, you really don't need to unhook the connectors from them. Leave them hooked up. This has all got to come out anyways. We want to get our license plate lights unhooked. So we'll just push on these little tabs and rock them back and forth. That's unhooked there. Same thing on the other side. Cool, that's undone. And then I'm just looking for every little plastic Christmas tree style connector here. now we're getting into parking sensors, but we don't want to pull those out yet. Let's just get the wire harness all unhooked. And the main reason why I'm holding off on parking sensors is I want to come back through with a silver Sharpie because I want to put an arrow for what is up. That way, these go back into the raid bumper in the exact same position they came out of the stock bumper. Because if you get them upside down or in the wrong position, it'll cause problems when we get it all hooked back up in the truck. Come on. All right, I'm gonna pop these little plastic clips out. Sometimes you have to use a pick to get the top button to pop up. There we go, then you can get a clip removal tool in there. Make sure I don't lose those. Now if I rock the bumper back over, I think this will buy me a little more flex. To get this proximity sensor out, there's two ways of doing it. You can take a bunch of like screwdrivers and stuff and bend this plastic back and try to, brace it and pry it back like this. And what you're trying to do is separate these two plastic pieces, save yourself some time, get in here with a 7mm and unbolt it, and you can totally do that, but there's also a faster way. Just take a clip removal tool or a pick, and you want to push on these tabs because this is just a little metal clip for the bolt to fit in. So if you just push these tabs and push on it a little bit, I think we can just pop the whole dang thing out and skip that entire process. Yep. There we go. Awesome, that thing is out. Now we can pull out the parking sensors, but before we do, I'm gonna mark each one with an up arrow and a number. So I'm gonna work left to right. This one will be number 1, arrow up. Number 2, arrow up. We'll do number 3, arrow up. And number 4, arrow up. Awesome. The other trick is we know that once this wire harness comes out, that the main wire harness plug, which is right here, that has to go over on the driver's side. Taking these parking sensors out of the stock housings is really easy. See these plastic tabs? You basically got a finger on the top and one on the bottom. Just peel it back and rock the sensor down. And what you've done is you've kicked out that little plastic tab there. That releases it. Same thing on the bottom, just pull down and try to rock it forward and it comes right out. There's really no need to unhook it from the actual connector. So that's out, we'll do that for the other 3. That is out. All right, this entire harness is unhooked and out. All right, now we can get our Ironman 4x4 Raid rear bumper all unpacked, get all the hardware laid out. I like to do an inventory of it so I know that I'm not missing anything or have extras. We've got all of our bolts, nut plates, protector brackets. We've got a spacer for one of our lights. We've got our license plate lights right there and our parking sensor brackets. Now, all we gotta do is transfer everything we took out of the stock bumper, put it into the Raid bar. Now on the parking sensors, the Ironman 4x4 Raid bumper has 6 provisions for parking sensors. Some trucks, some of the high-end Rams have 6 rear sensors. Our truck here only has 4, which is fine. We're just gonna utilize the 4 that we need. So I'll pull the plugs out for the inner foremost positions and leave the outer 2 with the plugs in it. Now, this plug just goes right in here like that, and then we can drop these metal clips back down into place. You'll hear them click. There we go. All right, let's grab these license plate lights that came included, and we're gonna get them installed. So this is gonna be a little 8mm socket for this little flange nut. So we'll unhook them, take the wire, run it through that hole right there, pull all the slack through. Keep your fingers on the bolt heads so they're countersunk, so they should hold in place for you, but you want to push the light housing up against the bumper that way. We will spin these down. You can catch a thread or two. There we go. And I'm pushing the light in towards the bumper. Now it's a plastic housing, so don't go crazy because you'll break it. So I just got it nice and snug. It won't go anywhere. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So if your truck came with this little proximity sensor antenna thing, I'm not exactly 100% sure what it is. I think it's an antenna. To get it bolted on, we're gonna grab these little teeny M4s and this 2.5 millimeter Allen. Take 2 flat washers and this little nut right here, which is a 7 mil. And what I did was I laid out the nut and a flat washer on a piece of electrical tape and then stuck it behind this little tab right here. So I've already kind of pre-cooked that one for us. So I'm gonna start with the top. I'm gonna drop that down and then very carefully, I'm gonna set that on top and try to catch a thread. And as I do that, I'm gonna put my finger on the back side to try to keep the nut from moving around on me. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Then you can just pull that tape off. That holds it in place. I just lay the nut on the tape, throw the washer on the top. I'm gonna slide that out of the way. Just kind of line it up. If I need to move the washer out of the way to get it all lined up straight, I can do that. Cool. I'm gonna work right to left and get our parking sensor housings all set up. So I've already kind of pre-staged this one here with this backing plate. You can see on the front of this, you've got those little teeth. There's 4 of them, and there's the opposite little cutout right in here. So when I put this on, I wanna make sure I line those up so that they socket together. Now they might not be perfectly aligned, that's okay. Once you do line them up, you can twist them. It's just a little like silicone ring. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that there. This is number 4, our far outside driver's side. Arrow's pointing up, so that's gonna fit right in there like that. I'll swing that backing plate around, grab another screw, and what's cool about these little parking sensor housings is they just kind of clamp the thing down and it going nowhere. So that is how you put these together. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other 3. Then we will come back and get the double-sided gaskets put on. Cool, see? It just sandwiches together like that. And then that is gonna drop in here, just like that. All right, now that we've got the housings all built for our parking sensors, we're gonna put these double-sided sticky gaskets on them. So make sure you wear gloves or at least try not to touch the adhesive sticky part because you don't want the grease from your fingers to get on there because it'll make them not stick so good. So we're gonna go ahead, get those pressed on there. Make sure we got good contact. There we go. Sometimes I'll put them up against the bumper and just press to make sure that they're sitting there good. Okay. Leave that there. I'm just gonna go right down the row, get all 4 done. Then we'll come back, pop them out one at a time, put the adhesion promoter on, peel the other side off, and get them permanently glued on there. All right, adhesion promoter. So I'm gonna pull this, I'm gonna wipe some of that juice on there. I'm gonna go right down the line, try to remember my orientation for the plugs. You don't want this stuff to dry, you wanna keep it wet on there. And then I'm actually gonna come back here, and for this antenna, I've marked out its position, and I put double-sided sticky 3M tape on it there. So I'm gonna wipe this too. Okay, cool. Now, I'm gonna grab a pick, and I'm going to peel off the other side of this. You just wanna get this red wrapper off. Cool. And then that's going, remembering our position, straight up and down. Awesome. Press that on there nice and good. Cool, that's coming together. These are on, that's on, that's on. This is starting to dry up, so let's hurry up. Okay, and that is gonna position right here. Awesome. Your truck may or may not have this TPMS antenna. If it does, throw some double-sided sticky tape on it, stick it right here. I tried to get it as close to the stock position as it was on the original bumper. So from this tab right here, come out 6 inches, and from the bottom of the bumper, come up 4 inches, and that's where the top little slotted hole goes. So 6 over, 4 up. Straight up and down, double-sided tape. Cool. All right, I'm gonna run these 20-watt white clear lights on the outside, and that just sets up in here like that. Flat washer, split washer, 13 millimeter nut. Just kind of want to pull back on the light because the bracket has these raised shoulders that hold the bolt head in place. And then the hole is slotted so you can rock them. You can tuck them back in for protection, or you can push them forward if you want to get more light and risk it for the biscuit. Also, do not try to use a ratcheting wrench on this because you will trap your wrench as you tighten it down, and you will be donating that to the bumper. So we'll leave that like that. I'll spin over here. So we want that spacer for the inside position because that's going to kind of help step it down for us. So what we do is we put the spacer like that, and then we'll feed this through. All right, getting this inner position light on is a bit of a tight fit, but you'll get it. Just go slow. May take you a couple tries. All right, last thing we want to do on these lights is don't forget you've got these little gravel guard plates. This is so your rear tires, when you're kicking up muck and gravel and everything, you don't want those just hammering into the back of your nice Sabre lights. So we'll run our cable and Deutsch plug through there. These just kind of cap over the top of the light mount. You just want them physically covering over the lights, and then we can tighten them down with a 13 millimeter wrench, and it is just that easy. All right, now we also don't want to forget we got to wire up our license plate lights. So to do that, go to your license plate harness right here. We're going to clip this off. Black is ground, white is power or hot. On the included Ironman lights, the brown sheathed wire is going to be ground, and the blue wire is going to be hot. So I'm going to clip all this apart, get it connected together, and then we can move on to the next thing. And we're back. You want to get all of your wire harnesses zip tied up all nice and tight, because the last thing you want to do is have some wires hanging down, and when you go to bolt this bumper on, it gets pinched and you ruin stuff. So go ahead, get everything nice and tidy, kind of like the way I did. This is a nice example. We're going to plug our trailer harness plug back in. So that is just going to go like that. I like to put a little pressure behind it just so we don't mess with it too much. Before we can hang our bumper shell on, we need to take these nut plates, and I'm going to put some painter's tape on the back, and we're going to feed them behind this mount. Grab the tape. We're going to line them up. We're going to tape them in place to hold them. Cool, just like that, both sides. Before we hang up the bumper, it's going to be easier to get our license plate square nut spring clips put in, because we're going to go in here from the back. So I just use a pick. You can use a screwdriver. You just want to hook one side and then push down on the top, and it pops right in place. So you can do it with the bumper on, but it's going to be harder to get access to it. So there we go. Those are in. Now we can get this thing hung on the truck. So once you get the bumper here, you can kind of let it rest on the hitch, keep it supported. We'll grab one of the bolt setups. I've got the 4 mounting bolts loosely fitted. You've got a lot of up and down adjustment, so just take your time. You want to make sure everything's clearing your exhaust. You also want to check your tailgate, open it, make sure you can lower it all the way down and then it's not going to rub here. Once you get it set where you want it, then you can start to work it down and get it all tightened up. These 4 mounting bolts are an 18 millimeter wrench. Bumper's on, I checked all my wire harnesses, nothing's pinched. I went ahead and zip tied up my wires for my pod lights. I'm gonna get those hooked up later. Now all I gotta do is get my main master plug hooked back in, so I've clipped the wires all back into place. I'll feed this back in here, just like that. You can feel a positive click, and then we will push this handle back up, locks down in place, push that red tab, safety tab in. That is done, all hooked up. Only thing left to do is get the spare tire winched back up and get our license plate on. Then we're done. All right guys, we're all done. The Raid bumper looks amazing on this Ram 1500. If you want more information on this, or if you want to buy one for your Ram, go check it out at Ironman 4x4 America.com. We got tons of friendly folks that'll help you out over there.